we go. Hey, look, this is Purge, bringing you guys game 2 of Complexity versus PotmBot. This is the ESWC North American Finals, and I am here once again with Bballin. You excited for game 2?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what Complexity can do. People are saying in the chat that Doublestone might be jail. I'm not too sure. Keep in mind, jail is still under contract, but I'm not really too sure. But still, PotmBot just rolled through Complexity. They just had very, very strong timing pushers. And even though TC got like a 6-minute hand minus on his Faceless Void, he did not have enough damage to bring down PotmBot Ali 2000's Dragon Knight in enough time to make it really matter. And after Complexity had no damage, so we'll see if they actually pick up damage in this round.
Yeah, it's a hard hero to use, Faceless Void, that is, especially when you're up against a guy like Dragon Knight who's like, oh, one of my skills gives me 8 armor, have fun killing me. I mean, at that point, you either have to shift to minus armor abilities like Medallion or Desolator, or maybe you have to pick up something like even a Mjolnir and just shift some of your DPS to magic damage instead. But, you know, that wasn't even vaguely on Complexity's radar there, because they were just a little bit too far behind. This game, they're actually just going to ban Tidehunter with a Morphling, so maybe targeting things a little bit more towards what PB likes to play with.
Well, keep in mind, Complexity does have first pick, so they're most likely just trying to set themselves up to get rid of all the annoying heroes out of the way, get rid of those annoying who PotmBot might pick up with their second 2 picks, to try to pick up maybe a Darkseer of their own, a Rubik of their own, and leave PotmBot not too many options to work. They ban out Nature's Prophet, so we'll at least see Invoker at the very least, unless PotmBot decides to ban out, so Complexity can't get a first pick. But we're going to see Invoker at the very least, and maybe Darkseer if PotmBot does not ban it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good heroes that haven't been banned here, but this is kind of what first picking teams usually do, I believe, which is leave all the nasty heroes in, let them ban them, and then you get to choose which one you want to work with. So, first pick here comes. Is it going to be an Invoker? What are the other heroes we're working with again?
Probably Rubik, most likely.
Yeah, that's what we saw last game as well.
Yeah, also Lone Druid still in the pool. A very, very strong carry hero that PotmBot loves to run, Mjolnir. Played by Ali 2000, they like to run that Mjolnir on the bear, and Rubik is to pick up by Complexity. So we'll see if they maybe run an Invoker and Lone Druid. We'll see if they pick up a jungler in the form of Chen Enchantress. Both the junglers still in the pool. Right now, PotmBot has so many options to work with. They now are going to pick up the Invoker and the Lone Druid. So one of the many options I predicted, and of course, I'm right.
You are so right, man. Perfectly right. Beautiful.
The key is just to guess every single outcome.
Just write down all the popular heroes, and then we'll use some statistics to guess everything. It'll be great. Yeah, Invoker Lone Druid, so that's going to be the solo mid, possibly a long laner, but I don't know how bottom lanes a Lone Druid. Some teams have been doing a lot of long lane Lone Druid, but I believe even during the International it was a little bit more solo mid and safe lane, which is a little different than what we saw in the Euro scene over the last 2 months.
I think we're probably going to see most likely a safe lane Lone Druid. They really want to get Ali 2000 enough farm. Ali 2000, it depends on the game. Either he goes for Mjolnir, or if there's a lot of Blink Daggers, if they want to get tower push, he will go for the standard ratings build. But Invoker, just a very, very strong mid-game hero, and the key is just to limit his experience as much as possible. Otherwise, he doesn't really become too big of a factor. You can hold out a little bit against his mid-game prowess, and we'll see if PotmBot decides to run the coS build or the Exhort build. coS is, of course, more favorable to mid-game counter-ganks teamfights, but Exhort, if PotmBot runs for a ganking lineup, which they could theoretically do if they pick up maybe like a Shadow Demon or something like that, but most likely we are going to see coS.
You think we'll even see that with the Lone Druid, though? I don't know if we'll see Exhort. It's pretty good. EMP great against Rubik, Venomancer, Leshrac for sure, especially in the early game, unless they stack tons and tons of Arcane Boots, which we'll see one on Rubik and Leshrac for sure, but yeah, I think coS did see a lot of play during the International, and even some Exhort Invokers as well, so I think you could go a lot of different ways. But Complexity currently going with their signature support here, which is Venomancer, one of the teams that started playing it a crap load, and it really put him back up into arguably the tier 1 support total. But Leshrac, Venomancer on top of each other, that's a lot of pushing and counter pushing, so we'll see if they can make something happen like that and try to take a push advantage against PB this game.
Well, the thing about Exhort Invoker, shout out to Shred Kid who taught me this, is that unless you get a lot of ganks with Sunstrike, Invoker is really not too useful, and that's why you need a lot of setup in the form of maybe a Shadow Demon Sand King, something like that. Disruption into Sunstrike, of course, very, very powerful, especially with the Soul Catcher amplifying it. But unless he gets a lot of kills in the early game with Sunstrike, he really isn't too big of a factor to be taken seriously as a threat. He's a solid laner, but in terms of team fights, he can't do too much, just because he can run away from the meteor. But right now, PotmBot, I'm thinking a long time about who they might pick up. Let's see who's still on the poll. They could pick up another jungler. They are going to pick up the Enchantress, so most likely they might ban out the Chen, or they might try to get rid of some of the team fight left in the pool, like maybe the Brewmaster or perhaps the Enigma. But if we're going to see a Rubik solo mid, we're probably not going to see a Brewmaster.
It's very interesting that we see a Enchantress picked up and not a Chen. Chen argued to be the better of the two heroes, but this way they kind of cover themselves slightly in case they want to run that aggressive. They could do something like a Lone Druid plus support and Enchantress jungling tri-lane. If they could do that aggressive, try to take a fast tower, and that way they'd be covered in case Complexity has any desire to pick up a Chen. They picked Chen last game, it didn't work out for them quite well enough, so maybe they're covering their bases a bit there, as they do ban Broodmother next. So I guess they're expecting a long lane soul out of PB.
I think you're right. I think they are probably going to put the aggressive try to get as much towers and as much gold up on the Lone Druid as possible. So Enchantress will most likely be jungling, and they really want that aggression. Get as many creeps as possible rather than the tanky creeps a little bit later on. So Enchantress does suit out that role, and of course mid-game DPS cannot be underestimated by Enchantress.
Yeah, Impetus is actually really, really good, especially against some squishy heroes like Rubik, Venomancer, and Leshrac. And the cool thing, it's pure damage, so it goes right through Rubik's no field, which is perfect, because if you're a low HP, high resistance hero, whether that's armor or magic resistance, that's exactly what you want, because you just ignore that stuff, you do tons of damage to Impetus, and you can be really scary in the mid game. We see Chaos Knight banned as well, and a Beastmaster. So, a lot of long lane solos from Complexity. They're really expecting PB to take another long lane solo.
So will we see PotmBot run the Gondar or the Bounty Hunter once again? And one thing that could be problematic is if they do that, they don't really have too many stuns to work with. Meanwhile, you have Rubik Telekinesis, you have Leshrac. Splurth, you have the Soul by Venomancer, you have Edict trying to do a lot of pressure. So if they pick up something, it looks like, I think it would be more favorable for PotmBot to go for the Windrunner in this situation, just so they can get a bit more disable, get that Shackle Shot lined up and ready. But still, they could try to go for the Bounty Hunter once again. It worked well for them in the last game. Even though he died a couple of times, Track just gave them such a big gold advantage. It was really difficult to stop, and we do see a Brewmaster ban.
Yeah, the gold was really nice for sure. PB afraid of having Complexity with a good teamfight hero, so that's why they're going to ban out the Brewmaster. They're still looking for possibly a farm-dependent hero on the safe lane, as well as a long lane hero. So they could go a lot of different ways. Kind of interesting that they're still looking for that hero, but they haven't quite. But they've been banning a lot as well, so maybe they're going to snag the Windrunner first. We could see something like that happen, and then leave PB with not a lot to work with.
Well, Complexity has a couple options. They could either go for more teamfight. They still need a hard carry to go for them. They could try to run the Void once again. Probably not likely unless they really, really go for a different build. Because there's going to be under a lot of pressure through the Enchantress and Lone Druid, and Void, of course, can't pick off tanky heroes. They're going to go for the Templar Assassin. I like this pickup. A lot more burst damage, a lot more mid-game presence. And she is one of the few heroes who can just burst down the Lone Druid through his armor. But Lone Druid, if he goes for the Reigns, is a solid counter to Templar Assassin. Entangle, of course, being a DPS-based spell, or a DPS-based passive, and Reigns will just melt through refraction charges. But they do have the Venomancer to back her up at the very least.
Well, the real question is, the previous Templar Assassin player for Complexity was Geo. So who's the guy that's playing it? Are there any notable Templar Assassin players across the scene? I'm sure there's lots of players that can play the hero well, but we'll see what the caliber of TA is up to in this game. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, probably we're going to see 007 playing it, and we'll see if he can handle it quite well. But that means if we do see either a safe lane, most likely we're going to see mid lane Templar Assassin, and up against Invoker, Templar Assassin can handle himself quite well, or handle herself quite well, even against Cold Snap. Can really pierce through that Invoker, get a lot of blast hits, especially if Invoker's not running Exhort. But Rubik is supposed to, we're going to see a support Rubik, so that's going to be a bit more uncommon.
And a Shadow Demon support for PB, so they're currently lacking stuns big time here. They'll have Disruption, they'll be able to combo that with Sunstrike at least. Do you think maybe they'll pick up an SK for their last draft? They could do like a dual lane of Shadow Demon SK and then Lone Druid safe with an Enchant Jungle. They could do something like that. Or they could just leave it with Shadow Demon, throw another farm-dependent hero with the Shadow Demon, and maybe do Lone Druid long lane or something. I don't know. They have a lot of options, I think.
Yeah, the thing about PotmBot is that they leave so many options available. I'm really not too sure what to even call at this point. But adding Shadow Demon to the equation does open up the possibility of going back into that Exhort build, like you mentioned, for Invoker, getting early kills with that Sunstrike in conjunction with the Soul Catcher. So Sand King would not be the worst pickup by them. It would give them some solid damage in the mid game in conjunction with Lone Druid pushing it down. So right now PotmBot does have a lot of options open for them, but it's going to be a bit tricky to lane this Lone Druid. It might be difficult.
Yeah, we'll see where they go with it. Could be weird. So who are we waiting for from Complexity? Jungler heroes? Enigma's still in the pool. We could see something like an Enigma, perhaps. I don't know if they'd have enough carry potential to shut down Lone Druid at that point, but it's an option, and I'm kind of surprised to see him make it this far, to be honest. I think he was pretty consistently banned second round in the International, or picked by a decent amount of teams, and it's no way No way.
Oh,
They're
wow.
gonna draft Sniper on the game that they just could lose the entire best of three, and we haven't seen
Yep.
Sniper in forever. When's the last time you
This
saw
is.
Sniper competitive?
Oh man, it's in competitive Dota 2. It's been a minute. I think probably like at least 5 months at the very
It's
least.
been a lot for me. I
Wow.
remember
Wow,
Navi playing Sniper against Absolute Legends, and that's about it. I mean, really not a lot of Sniper gameplays. One of the least played heroes in the entire game. As a carry, he's scary as hell if he gets obscenely farmed, but it's so hard to get there. He has low HP, he has no getaway, he has no hard disable, he's a little AoE slow, but it's really not that good. It's a hard hero to play, but I mean, if you do look at the Dire team, they do extremely lack disables. If he just picks up like phase boots or something, he might be able to actually get away from a lot of their players, and at least in the early game. It'd be cool to see. I mean, it's Sniper,
Yeah.
man.
No doubt, and I think Complexity made a smart go of it. They know that it's going to come down to Lone Druid and Enchantress winning the early lane, and if Lone Druid's going to be in the safe lane, it's going to be difficult to stop. But right now, with that Sniper pickup, they're going to have to run the aggressive tri lane up top. Complexity will, and that means Lone Druid could be open up the bottom lane at the very least, the long lane up against a Sniper perhaps, or maybe a Templar Assassin. I don't know. We're going to see how the lanes shape up, but most likely we are going to see aggressive tri lane by Complexity to pressure the top lane and pressure the Enchantress before she can pressure her.
Sniper. Like, really?
It's just blowing your mind.
Yeah, PB did draft a Sand King, so I get to be right as well tonight. Yes. But yeah, Sniper, very unusual. Sand King's going to be a problem for him. Burrow Strike, Epicenter guaranteed. Unless, well, not guaranteed. He has like maybe 2 shots to try to get a headshot. If he gets a headshot, no Epicenter. If he does not, then you're dead. And that sucks. So it's going to be really tough for him to play this, I think. All comes down to how, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of weird things going on in this game, that's for sure, with the Sniper plane being played by TC, and our 007 is going to be playing the Templar Assassin, so that mystery is also solved. Let's go over the players quick for the Radiant team. This is PotmBot. They are currently up 1-0. If they win one more game, they are going to take the win as the ESWC North American qualified team. They're going to go to France for the tournament to represent North America. We have Tides of Time on Enchantress, Dopehead Gaming playing Sand King, Fogged is on the Invoker, Angel Wind Sword playing Shadow Demon, and Aoi 2000 going to be playing the Lone Druid.
Yeah, and meanwhile, on the complexity side, like you mentioned earlier, 007 is going to be playing the Templar Assassin. We're going to see IX Mike playing the support Rubik, Hanamontab going to be playing the Venomancer, Fluff and Stuff is going to be playing that Leshrac, and TC is going to be playing the Sniper. And of course, one thing I did forget, as it's a bit difficult to tell with the screens, is that Colexi's on the Dire side, so they're going to be sending their aggressive tri lane on the bottom lane.
Okay, so what are they going to do for lanes? Templar Assassin's obviously going to solo, most likely on the mid lane. They're going to do an aggressive tri lane, you think, with Rubik, Veno, Leshrac, is that correct? And then maybe a solo Sniper top? Or what are you expecting? Because, I mean, they can't... Whoever goes top is probably going to run into the Shadow Demon Sand King. I mean, that dual lane is going to suck wherever it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to say at the very least. I mean, they might not even put Templar Assassin. Of course, Templar Assassin does match up very well versus Invoker, but she might have a bit more success in the top lane just to try to get as much farm as possible. They could run Sniper maybe in this tri lane. No, they are going to put the tri lane up top, so they're not going to pressure the Enchantress. They could switch up the lanes, but I'm not really too sure how I feel about Decision, as I guess they're just going to try to ensure Sniper gets as much farm as possible, but that means they're going to be pressured very, very hard. And one thing to note about Complexity is that other than the Venomancer Awards, they don't have too much counter pushing going for them. Of course, Sniper Shrapnel is a solid tool, but of course, really just not too much in terms of instantly clearing creep plays on the side of Complexity.
Yeah, this is pretty weird stuff going on. We're asking for a remake from Complexity, so... did they get 4 couriers? Alright,
Not too sure.
Alright, we're gonna remake really quick, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. This will take not even 2 minutes here. Not even. Leave the game. There's the new one. Wow, they're almost already good to go. And these teams are like responsible
Serious
and stuff.
business.
What is this?
Serious business.
This is not the Dota scene. Damn,
They
that
wanna
wasn't
get
bad
into
at all.
this
I was like,
They wanna-
okay, no problem, remake.
They want to finish this game, do their homework, go to sleep.
I guess so. I feel bad for you, man. It's pretty late for you now. What are you at? 11
well,
p.m.
at least it
That's
started a
not
bit
too bad.
earlier.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's like 11:30.
Not bad. We originally thought this was going to start at 11 for Bballin over here, so it was like, oh, well, that's going to It's gonna suck. Start at 11, stay up, and think about the players as well. If any of them are East Coast, it's gonna be the same issues. Staying up very late to play Dota. Oh, depends what time they normally sleep, that is. But
I think PotmBot at the very least is mostly all West Coast. I know 3 of their players are Vancouver, some of them's from SoCal. I think one of their players is from New York. It could be Sara, the stand-in, but I'm not too sure. The complexity, I think they're mostly West Coast / Canadian.
I see. Well, it's good for them then. Still pretty early in the night, waiting for the last pick out of PB. See about courier purchases. Kind of a basic mistake though. Maybe communication issues from complexity there. I think it looked like maybe the TA actually bought and sold a recipe. She only had 500 gold, so could have been something like that. And there's the last Leshrac pick, and we'll be hopping back into it. I mean, who was going to solo the long lane? They were moving to a tri-lane towards the top to the safe lane, and the only 2 heroes they had left were Sniper and TA. Like, which one of those 2 heroes is going to do the long lane solo? I guess you could hypothetically do a TA long lane if you just grabbed Meld and sat there invisible. I mean, that's...
Oh, I'm not a big fan of that. TA just needs a lot of levels and just...
Well, you would get levels. They would just be heavily denied.
Well, TA is an item-independent carry, so I guess you're around that point. But that's why I was thinking that they're going to pressure with a very aggressive Rubik, Venomancer, or Leshrac tri-lane up on the bottom lane versus Enchantress, try to apply the pressure so that their other lanes can get safe farm, and so that their towers could not be pushed down. But looks like we might actually see that happen as Sniper's going to the top lane, so we are going to probably see the aggressive tri-lane rotate to the bottom lane to pressure the Enchantress.
Yeah, we'll see. Sniper, really low movement speed, I am just noticing. That guy needs a buff. I think that's the best way to do it, right? Just make him like 350 base. Just really fast,
I think
old man.
most of the people want is headshot and take aim to be combined somehow and give him another new skill.
Oh, that would be really cool, actually. I would like that. But then you're going to have to buy mana items for him and all this other stuff, so... Huh. That's a really good idea, though. Cool.
Well, he has really good stat gains. I think he has overall one of the highest combined stat gains. I mean,
really?
Yeah, so I think it might be like 7.2 or something like that. Something pretty powerful, but we are going to see the aggressive trial and rotate to the bottom lane and pressure Enchantress, and I like this choice a lot more. And we are going to see TA solo top, and I like this move a bit more, because if you leave Sniper on the top lane against the Lone Druid will be able to outfarm. Meanwhile, it gets Templar Assassin until Lone Druid hits level 5, Templar Assassin should be A-okay. So I'm liking these lanes a lot more by complexity.
And it makes a lot more sense since Hannah Montana is, of course, well, they're actually going to stun on Fluff here in the mid lane. He's looking for the stun. He's actually going to whiff it as the disruption comes through. And now a little bit of right-clicking here. He is going to get killed, most likely, and he does get paid off. Oh, the Telly not going to the high ground. Not able to catch the Sanking, and they put a sentry to the high ground. So this is a huge disadvantage start for complexity, losing first blood and getting the Observer Ward countered immediately. So that is rough.
Meanwhile, bottom, of course, they predicted that they're going to have to run the aggressive tri lane bottom if they sort of want to have success, so they're going to switch up the lanes a bit, put the Sanking Shadow Demon to pressure the Sniper, and we are going to see... Demised. Looks like they're going to rethink their lanes complexity, and they're going to see a Venomancer solo the long lane or try to pick up some jungling points, and this is pretty old school. I mean, Venomancer soloing the long lane, I mean, he just needs level 7, then he can defend the tower with his massive amount of Plague Wards. And even level 5 is good enough, but this is pretty old school to say the least. I mean, Chinese teams did run this a decent amount in 2011 for Dota 1.
I have seen one other team do this before where they put a Venomancer solo against a solo Lone Druid, one of the few heroes that actually has a ton of damage potential against a solo target. And that's just because of the Poison Sting, so every chance that he can get, he's just going to right-click the bear and he's going to take 5 DPS. He can level this up, get level 2, level 3 even maybe, and just do insane DPS to the Spirit Bear and possibly ward him away. I mean, nobody else can really contest the HP that the bear has other than Venomancer, despite his HP being kind of low. He's got enough regen where he might actually be able to do this while still getting EXP.
Yeah, meanwhile, IX Mike knows that the Sentry Ward was used there to counter ward, as he's just going to go there, as there's going to be a gank mid, like you mentioned, and TC does take the fall, and this is the problem with Sniper soloing a lane by himself in the mid lane.
Yeah.
He just dies way too easily.
Yeah, that was a smoke gank, I believe, and they initiated with the disruption. They got the Centaur stun in position, and that's the problem with Sniper. He can't blink, he can't stun anybody, he just is slow and low HP. He's doing some good damage to Fog, though. Currently with 1 level of headshot and 1 level of take aim. Now, once his take aim is max, his range is going to be excellent, but until that point, his damage is kind of low and may have some trouble getting ganked, as we've already seen.
I know what word you're trying to use there. Nice job for stating yourself as...
I don't know what word I was saying.
Very, very bad. But right now we're going to see a gank up on the Venomancer as Ali 2000 dies, or Ali 2000 manages to get the kill, and now the pressure is being applied as PotmBot seems to have the lanes locked down as they're doing a nice job roaming, switching lanes, constantly applying pressure to all the lanes. And Venomancer is going to teleport back. He just needs to get O's. And the thing about it is, if Complexity holds out, they should win with TA and Sniper. The problem is if they can hold out at all.
Yeah, especially with Sand King in the game, they're going to have a lot of great team fight. If they group up a little bit too much on these squishiers, they're in trouble. There's another disruption bot. Oh, the Soul Catcher does land on Hannah Montana. Now he's running for his life, looking for a Gale. Does Gale on top of the Bear as well as Angel win Sword, but the Bear is going to take 2 hits, and the rest of it's going to be tanked by the Lone Druids. So 2 deaths now on the Venomancer, only level 2, and he's getting, or level 3 now, but he's still getting dived like crazy.
One thing that is a little bit weird to know is that Ali 2000, he resummoned his Bear and it died immediately to the tower, so that Bear's going to be on cooldown. So that's going to leave Venomancer open in the lane unless they continue to gank him. And Venomancer will be able to pick up a lot of experience in the time that the Bear is dead. He did buy an Orb of Venom on the Bear at the very least, so he used a bit of his gold right off the bat. So PotmBot Ali 2000 won't have nearly as much lane pressure if he had the Bear.
He does pick up a Blades of Attack. Another disruption on Sniper here. We're going to see a Cold Snaps. Oh, the Soul Catcher on top of that. It's going to be such an easy kill on the Sniper here. And they do pick him off. Shadow Demon with a killing spree now. Great ganking from Shadow Demon. 3 kills and 2 assists. He's been there for everything, and that's all they've needed to set up these ganks is a disruption.
Yeah, and if Invoker picks a lot of early levels, he can get fast points into all his other skills. And right now, Exort Build just synergizes so well with the roaming Shadow Demon. I mean, Disruption, you can send Sunstrike in from miles away. Cold Snap, of course, a very strong spell in its own right. And once Invoker picks a lot of levels, he will be a mid-game power, even if he's not going for Quaswex. So this might be a bit of trouble, but one thing we do have to note is that Templar Assassin is getting absolute free farm.
Yeah, that's got to be good for sure. There's 1 telekinesis. They might put down a sentry. We'll see if there's a burrow on IX Mike. Creep Wave is coming, so he's going to back up for just a second here. But yeah, 007 does have a lot of farm. 26 last hits. Mid on TCs at 10 and 7 versus the 17 and 8 Invokers. So mid lane is being won by PotmBot easily. Bot lane is being won by PotmBot. So really, all the Dire team is working with is a pulling Leshrac, which they have gotten some good farm from that. Is the center going to despawn on the bot lane? And it's going to get the stun off first on Hannah Montana. And a couple more right clicks. He's going to pop a Tango, but a couple more. And that's his 3rd death now. Really rough time on the bot lane for Hannah Montana.
Yeah, and PotmBot Ali 2000's like, I don't even need the Bear. I'm just going to pick up Phase Boots, do a lot of damage on my own right. Last hit, everything as possible. And it's going to come down to his Templar Assassin to get Complexity back in the game. Otherwise, the level and experience advantage will be a bit too much, as we're going to see Shadow Demon constantly applying pressure on TC. TC does not have too much room to breathe. He has managed to pick up 15 last hits, which is quite respectable. He's going to go for a lot of Wraith Bands to give him a lot of stats early on and just try to give him as much survivability as possible so the TPs can come in to counter gank. But with the Lone Druid being able to pressure with Hannah Montana taking so much damage, as he's going to have to avoid the Bear from taking too much damage, otherwise it will die and we'll be down for another 2 minutes. But it looks like there's going to be a gank on the top lane, and at least Complexity managed to pick up 1 kill for themselves. Templar Assassin pick up the kill, and we'll see if they can get anything from this. They might get a tower push. Leshrac, not too close to level 5, but he does have level 2 Edict.
Oh, man. Hannah Montana bot lane. Great little juking here. He ends up blocking himself in, but puts a couple more wards down. Fluff actually comes and gets immediately stunned by the Centaur. Now a disruption. He might be in trouble here. We'll see. He's going to throw the stun. It's going to land on Shadow Demon. He wants to use an Edict, but he's actually completely out of mana, and a little bit of right-clicking here as he TPs out. Fluff's going to have to leave him. And we saw TC get killed, actually, by WoW Invoker down to 74 HP, and he ends up surviving there. Throws a Meteor, actually. And now on the top lane... Where did TA die? I am really confused now. Was that the Centaur picking off the TA? Wow, it was.
I think it might have been, as looks like Fluff is going to be in a lot of trouble. Ali 2000's Bear is taking so much damage. Sunstrike whiffs as Fluff is going to try to escape to the trees, but now Ali 2000 is going to be in a lot of trouble, trying to run for his life. Will he get sent home? He's just going to run at as fast as he can. He does have the Phase Boots, and of course, the Lone Druid in his range form has higher than average move speed, as Assassinate is going to fly and try to do a bit of damage to Fogged, as Fogged stuck around a little bit too long, so now he's going to go back to the Fountain Regen. And that's going to give Sniper some time to try to get a little bit more farm, but right now, PotmBot just has complete control of this game.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the double Wraith Band on Sniper. They are definitely behind, so he's going to need as much survivability and damage as possible. Doesn't have boots quite yet, but he does get 18 damage from these 2 Wraith Bands. There's a Sunstrike on him. Standing in place, 225 damage from that, but he does have 2 tangos left over. He's going to try to force Fog back. There's the Cold Snap. Going to see a disruption once again. Soul Catcher, are they going to Sunstrike it? Nope, it's on cooldown actually. He's going to try to shoot an ulti first. He does hit on the Shadow Demon. He's going to get 007, an easy kill here. Can he also grab the Invoker is the real question, getting a little crit damage, but nothing insane, just phase boots and Basilius on the TA. And he's going to stay here now since the Sniper is dead, but rough game for Sniper so far. 4 deaths and 1 assist. This is why we do not see him played very often.
Yeah, you really need to either babysit Sniper or give him a solid lane to lane against. I think in the beginning I said it was overall a solid lane decision to put him solo mid, but I didn't anticipate the roaming Shadow Demon. PotmBot displayed that to perfection, as we're going to see a smoke gank on the bottom lane, try to pick off the Lone Druid. Ali 2000 has 600 gold in the bank, does not have too much gold to work with, and he might get stunned, but Complexity is just going to get juked completely. Phase Boots giving Lone Druid so much mobility to work with, as we don't often see this just going all out Phase Boots. We often see in the International just rushing that relic, but PotmBot does like to go for different item builds, Ali 2000 at least.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird decision making there that Fluff ended up walking in first. They put a Sentry Ward down because they assumed that the only reason he backed up was because they had Ward Vision, but I think he just kind of got lucky there. He backed up at the right time. He expected the gank to come, and they didn't lead with Leshrac. Leshrac had the telekinesis. Maybe they were concerned about the boots on Leshrac, that maybe Ix Mike would whiff it once he became visible, but who knows? If they would have maybe gotten disabled, they didn't even throw a Gale, so just kind of seems like miscoordination there, not something we usually see out of Complexity.
One thing to note is that it's almost 9 minutes in the game, and Enchantress Snipe has not pushed on a tower. And meanwhile, Venomancer is at level 7, so he's going to have the max swords. And if Sniper can get that maxed level of Shrapnel, a little bit of a tongue twister for me right there, if he can get that maxed up, then they'll be able to turtle quite hard. But the problem is that Lone Druid. And we'll see if Ali 2000 is going to go, what item will he go for? That's going to be the real question.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Looks like Sniper picks up lots of shrapnel levels. Oh man, he's going to stand the Sunstrike. Cold Snap as well, 83 HP. Then the Deafening Blast grabs the kill. Great pickup by Fogged here. See if Fluff can look for a stun. There's the Edict first. Here comes the Telekinesis. Stun, follow up, and it's going to land right on top, but they put a trap down. A lot of creeps to soak up the damage, so good disruption on Evoker. That'll buy them just a second. He's going to crit on top of the Shadow Demon. More right clicks, and the Fade Bolt picks off the kill. Dopehead shows up, Cold Snap on top of Ix Mikey dies very easily, and wow, even Fluff dying from that. So 3 dead heroes on the Dire team, trading for the Shadow Demon, and Templar Assassin trying to survive.
Oh no, Sand King comes in with the Burrow Strike as Refraction was just used. Do they have detection? They do not. We'll see if Sand King, he does not have any points in Caustic Finale, and he's just going to be able to run away. Impetus doing so much damage, my god. Plus 200 damage from that Impetus, and that just melted through that TA as... This is looking grimmer and grimmer for Complexity, as looks like they're finally going to be able to get the tower push, but no Shrapnel can prevent them from getting any sort of momentum. And Shrapnel with the Venoman swords, that's just going to be so annoying to push against, especially with Fable coming in. But Rubik is not even close, is not even level 6, as meanwhile the overall experience advantage for PotmBot is just tremendous. Already 10 minutes in the game, almost 6k experience advantage.
Wow, that's absolutely obscene. I dare say the TA should have gotten in melt as the projectiles came through there. Could have dodged some of those, I believe. Disjointed the initiation. Who knows? But I think he could have survived for sure. Rubik's going to buy some sentries. Burrow Strike on Sniper, and this is what I'm talking about. So easy to get killed on Sniper. We're going to see Hannah Montana using his ulti at least, and a couple big right clicks on Sand King. That is going to score them a kill. All the trap misses on Invoker. And Invoker gets out. Looking for a medallion recipe, actually. Going to go for single target damage.
Yeah, and I guess they figured that once they get the map control, they're going to be able to kill Roshan very, very quickly, in conjunction with that bear, just giving them as much map control as possible. But they have yet to take a tower, as Venomancer is going to provide a bit of pressure. 007 is going to try to do as much as he can. How much gold does he have? 800 gold in the bank. We'll see if he tries to rush a Blink Dagger. He might go for survivability right off the bat. Maybe even go for straight BKB, because they're going to need it in order to sort of survive this mid-game assault, as the bottom tower is finally going to fall. The first tower in the game is going to be taken by PotmBot. And meanwhile, on the top lane, looks like Sniper's going to be in trouble by a solo Sand King. This is really unfortunate. TC only has the boots. Will he be able to get the stun epicenter off? Yes, he will. He's going to channel it. Can he get the headshot? No, he's just going to run away, and TC's going to die. I would have risked the headshot at the very least.
Yeah, there wasn't really much else he could do at that point. As soon as the Burrow Strike landed, if he catches him solo, it's pretty much over. He's going to Burrow Strike on Ix Mike. The Sun Strike's going to give him enough damage. Oh, almost. Ix Mike's going to run away, grabs the Burrow, though. He has a smoke and a dust, but he's got no boots. In 2 seconds, we see another Burrow from Dopehead, and that's going to be it. He's just going to pop the urn and walk away as he grabs the kill. Enchantress bot lane picks up Leshrac, and PB is just taking Complexity apart. It's 18-5 here, and a big advantage for PB.
Yeah, and I think, like I said earlier, the lanes, I mean, I liked Complexity's ideas, but just really, really smart choice. But to roam the Shadow Demon is just going to seal Complexity It's a defeat if it comes down to this, but if they can turtle long enough, Sniper will get enough farm, but the problem is he's just dying at every opportunity. He must have so much gold lost at this point. He has 37 CS, but only 2 Ruth Bands and a Boots. Templar Assassin is trying to get as much farm as possible, but Sand King's not even afraid of her. There's going to teleport in. Can they get the Sand King? No, Sand King's going around. Trap is popped. Sandstorm and Burrow Striker on cooldown. Can they kill Dopehead Gaming? Burrow Strike is going to be cooling down. He's going to be able to Burrow Strike out of the way, but one more trap will seal the death of Dopehead Gaming. And yes, Complexity 007 or Complexity Fluff managed to get that last hit. And a bit of a Pyrrhic victory as Roshan's going to be taken. Lone Druid picks up the Aegis, and Hannah Montana is going to die.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh my god, I thought he was maybe going to survive, but no, that didn't work out at all for him. He was hoping an ulti from the high ground would have been a really nice ulti, but unable to get it off. And the bear now with lots of gloves. Wearing gloves on his little bare feet, trying to catch Ike's Mike. He still doesn't have boots, a little bit of impetus. Easy kill on him. Another Psionic Trap, 20-6. PB is just dominating here. Double damage on Invoker helps a lot too.
It helps, but I mean that's not going to be the reason. They're just going to be able to kill towers left and right. As if they might even go for the mid lane rather than push the top lane, as they're not going to wait for Venomancer and Sniper to stack up all their skills in order to survive. But no, they're going to switch. They're going to try to go for the top lane, get more map control, get more gold before going into for that Rax push. As Sand King is getting dangerously close to his Blink Dagger, and once he gets that, so much area effect damage is going to come in from PotmBot. It's going to be next to impossible to stop for Complexity since they have so few items to work with.
Yeah, and not to mention it's going to be pretty much guaranteed AoE damage as well. If you can come from the jungle or at least somewhere where they don't see you, it's pretty much just over. You hop in and do tons of AoE damage, and even though they do have a Rubik, he's only level 6 and hasn't been able to level up his mill field yet, so they won't have a whole lot of protection from that epicenter once it finally happens. Fluff's only level 7 as well. I mean, their EXP just on a whole is really far behind here, and it's really showing in their hero levels.
Yeah, trademark Alley 2000 picks up the Maelstrom, gonna go for Mjolnir, get more entangles, get more damage on the bear once he starts attacking with that rabbit. He doesn't even feel the need to get the Radiance because there's no Blink Daggers, and he doesn't even need to clear creeps that quickly. He has, I mean, Invoker, Sand King, so many ways to clear creeps even without the bear being summoned. So he's gonna go for that Mjolnir, get that stag field up. It's gonna be so hard to deal with. But we'll see if Complexity can make it a last stand, as if they can't protect this tower, I mean, I'm not really too sure what they can do. They're casting Fey Bolts, but that's not going to hold out versus the tower, as Complexity is trying to maneuver in position, Shrapnel being casted, and Ali 2000 trying to maneuver himself into position, Bear doing as much damage as possible. They're going to initiate Burrow Strike Wisp, but Emissary is going to be challenged. TC is going to be the first one to fall. Hannah Montana is going to fall shortly after, and this is just so bad for Complexity. It's almost GG.
Yeah, pretty much there. Really easy team fight for the Radiant team. Even with the whiffed Burrow Strike from Sand King, it didn't matter. I mean, that was like a blink Burrow Strike into Epicenter channel, just because they weren't too concerned with the disables. Invoker even has an ultimate or picked up. They win an easy fight. They're even going to pick off Ike's Mike again here. And 007 trying to escape. Can he get entangled? It's not going to happen. He's going to go back. They're going to be able to take the tier 2 now.
Yeah, it's just going from bad to worse. Sniper has 4 Wraith Bands, so that is something, as 007 is taking so much damage. One more hit by the Impetus. He does manage to get the uphill miss, but Bear comes in, gets an unstoppable streak as the Bear is resummoned. Ali 2000 is going to have the Hyperstone being shipped to him very shortly. And looks like they're going to continue to push. They have a lot of health to work with, but no, they're going to back off, defend their lanes, get their appropriate items, and then go for the GG push.
Yeah, no kidding. They definitely have the gold to do it as well. Look at the gold graph, 15k advantage for the Radiant team. They're doubled. Once you get to double gold advantage, that's when things get absolutely insane.
This is just like a mirror from the first game. We saw the same gold graph in the other game.
See Enchantress even stacking up recipes. This is how far ahead they are. He's like, you know, I'm going to buy a Buckler recipe. I'm going to spend 900 gold on a mech recipe as well, because I know that we're going to win this. Like, that's how confident they feel right now. Lone Druid even has another Gloves of Haste. I mean, how many Gloves of Haste does this guy have? He's had 2, actually. Transferred 1 back from the Spirit Bear. Even has the Sage's Mask just sitting on the Spirit Bear. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't give him any mana regen at all. Just nice to have.
Yeah, Ali 2000, when he says he wants the bear to attack, he means it, but it's not even, it's on his hero. And he's going to be able to pick up the Mjolnir in very short. He's going to have it right about now as it's going to be shipped off. Meanwhile, there's going to be a gank on the top lane, but Sand King is just running circles around the other team as he's going to be able to easily escape with the Blink Dagger. He's just going to earn up, stay around. And now, here comes the push.
Yep. TC with 4 Wraith Bands. That's pretty much all he can do at the moment. He's got 8 deaths and 2 assists. Thinking about finishing Treads at the 17-minute mark, but that's the problem with Sniper. He's just so easy to kill.
I got so excited for a second because IX Mike, he had 40 gold and he had an item shipped to him on the courier. I was like, oh, he's going to finally get boots. Now he gets a magic stick.
Some really big money here, picked up by IX Mike. He's got 700 HP. Man, that's got to be rough to be this far behind on support here. Usually it's like a Crystal Maiden, but never a Rubik, really. We'll see what he steals for an ability. He's looking for something. Hannah Montana thinking about going in. He does have 3 Gales. They could jump on the bear here. Gonna throw Gale to low ground. There's the Venom ulti. Dodges the Sunstrike, but a disruption actually comes through. That was from IX Mike, actually, but even still gets picked off. Dust is popped as Sand King is trying to survive at least, but a nice force stab from his ally. Here comes the missile. And the bullet does pick off the kill. Fluff almost getting entangled. He's got to be worried right now. 3 hits, no entangle. Are we going to see a 4th? 4 hits, no entangle. The bear has to run home. Definitely unhappy about that one.
And this, I don't know if PotmBot can keep pushing as the bear is on cooldown for quite a while. And this is the long-range turtling power of Complexity. They have the Venom Swords, they have Shrapnel, they have the long-ranged damage of the Sniper. Even if he has 4 Wraith Bands Agility Treads, he can do some damage and at least hurt down the bear a decent amount, since the bear is taking so much focus. So they're just going to wait for the bear to cool down and then probably pick up their push once again.
Yeah, this is just looking super good for them. PB is even very close to a Sheepstick on Invoker, so that's also going to be fantastic for them. Katie, wow, there's 2 heroes that haven't even died yet. Both Invoker and the Lone Druid just having perfect games here. 9-0 and 6 on Invoker, for God's sake. That is just ridiculous. Fluff looking to do some dewarding. They have a Sentry up. I think that's a Radiant Sentry, and he's going to put some Observe Wards, possibly to try to contest the Roshan area. Fog's actually already in there looking, but oh, he might get caught. Does he realize, though? It doesn't look like he sees him.
Well, it looks like the Venom or the Leshrac is actually a ninja. As PotmBot just going to push out the lanes. They're going to wait for the bear cooldown. It's cooling down very rapidly as the bear is going to heal up in the base to full health. Once the bear cools down, they're going to try to get their push going once again. And looks like they're just going to wait for the Epicenter to cool down as well. And once the Epicenter cools down, if they can get the proper initiation, Complexity should die, but here comes Complexity. They're going to turtle out. Looks like a nice defensive disruption being used on the Shouting, but he's going to take the fall. One more hit by the TA as Fluff does pick up the last hit on the Shadow Demon. So Complexity's going to stall as long as possible, and this is exactly what they need to do. They have no other options, and Sniper, if he turtles long enough, he will be able to become a factor. But still, 1 kill does not mean a game.
Yeah, it definitely does not. One slight mistake I just noticed from PotmBot. They actually have 2 mechs on their team currently completed. Enchantress as well as Shadow Demon both have completed mechs at the moment. So if you guys don't know how those works, the mech heals your team for a bunch of HP. You can't actually use it twice, though. Otherwise, teams would just stack up 5 of them, and there'd be a lot of weird burst healing. This was something that happened a long time ago, but since then has been extremely patched. So one mech per team is what we're going to see here. So slight mistake from them. You can actually increase your overall rate of healing faster over time because the buff only lasts for like 30 seconds, but it's definitely not worth it to go for that choice.
Yeah, I mean, even Enchantress could probably disassemble it and sell get the components, get the armor boost from the bulk, or get the additional headdress regen.
I don't think you can disassemble it, but
you can't disassemble.
If only. If only.
It's not a proper. You have to buy a recipe, as I completely forgot for mech, so you can't disassemble it. As looks like they're gonna go once again for the top lane. The tower took so much damage, and the bear is off cooldown, so he's getting about to resummon it again. And now he has the Mjolnir, he has Phase Woods, he's close to getting the Vlads. We'll see if they wait for that. But Mjolnir Sand King does have his ultimate up, and Invoker does have the Hex up. It's going to be so difficult, but once again, this is exactly Complexity's game plan. They just need to turtle, they have Shrapnel, they have wards, and they have a lot of damage to work with.
Bear gets resummoned again. They saw the setup. They're like, nope, I do not want to engage that despite our huge gold advantage. It's just not worth it. 20k gold advantage. It's actually leveling off a little bit. There is hope for Complexity, but they're going to have to win 3, 4, 5 team fights, something insane like that before they can come back. And it's a possibility, but it's going to be very tough. Last hits are still heavily in the Radiant team's favor, but Sniper's actually came up quite a bit since then. He's got 4 Wraith Bands with Treads and 300 in the bank, so not the end of the world as he tries to last hit some of these creeps.
Meanwhile, PotmBot is just going to split push it up, just provide a bit of pressure to all lanes as they're going to go for the mid tower now. As Invoker with the Hex might make the difference. They're going to do as much damage to the bear as possible. Here comes Alacrity. And can they kill the bear? Complexity, they really need to do that, but here comes the main bear as they're going to be able to kill the Spirit Bear and gets immediately resummoned. Purge being dropped on 007. Sand King immediately kills off TC. This is going to be the GG as Shouting kills Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin buys back, but Hannah Montana takes the fall as well. And there goes one more for the Complexity side. That was fluffy stuff. Bear dies, but he's just going to respawn with the Aegis, and now the Spirit Bear is still quarter HP, and it's just GG for Complexity.
Yeah, this bear is just too... Oh man, it doesn't even matter. That's the second bear. They're going to kill everybody on Complexity. Were there even buybacks there? It doesn't matter. They're going to be able to take their racks. Now that they're on the high ground, there's no way that Complexity can set up and try to defend this, or at least successfully defend this. And they got to keep that bear alive. If that dies, he's on a huge cooldown here, and good game is called as IX Mike is happy with the end of the game. PB is going to be the team that takes the win. They're going to take it 2-0, and they're going to represent North America at the ESWC Finals in France coming up. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, a bit sort of anticlimactic as both games ended in under 25 minutes.
Yeah.
As, but still, PotmBot, they've been working hard, and once they release the news of their sponsor, whenever that happens, they're just going to be looking to be one of the top, if not the top North American team, and might be one of the top Dota 2 teams in the world at this rate.
Yeah, they've been hyping this up pretty heavy, at least a week now, right? They announced that they had a sponsor lined up, right? I believe.
Well, they said they're in contract talks. And I didn't really want to push them too hard since they said they didn't really want to talk about it. So, but once they do get it, then they're just going to be able to go all around the world. There are a lot of land turrets, and they're just going to be so threatening to deal with.
Yep, and they're going straight for the throne. Nothing's going to slow them down this time. Except for 007, who's not done yet. He's going to micro the whole team. I don't know how he got behind here, but he's doing some right clicks, the Tides of Time. It's going to be a Hex as well. A lot of right clicking, but Aoi 2000 is going to finish it off anyways, and that's it. So PotmBot takes it 2-0 against a semi-unpracticed plus new player out of Complexity. So a lot of people were predicting this to happen. I don't know what you were expecting to happen, but yeah, PotmBot, they played really well.
Complexity prides themselves on teamwork. I mean, even though they boot camped for the past whoever knows how long, but not having practiced too much in the past 2 weeks, going back to school, doing whatever they were doing, and 007 taking the standing spot, even if he is jail, which I don't think he is, it just wasn't working good, especially for a team like Complexity who prides themselves on their teamwork. And PotmBot just seemed to have all the cards. They just went for very stable, very safe picks, and no sniper, no void could stop them.
Yep. Definitely weird carries both games, though. I think that's important to point out. I mean, Navi did play Faces Void in the International, but it was a very crucial match as well. Complexity went for first Void and then Sniper, 2 carries that the general public says, there's better carries out there. You might as well pick up an Anti-Mage or a Morphling. So possibly one of the reasons why they also lost the game. So I guess that's about it for us. That was ESWC North American Finals. PotmBot gets qualified. They're going to go to France, all expenses paid trip to represent North America in the tournament over there. So congrats to them. Bballin, thanks for joining me. Do you have any shout-outs?
Thank you for letting me cast with you once again.
No problem.
Purge, as thank you to ESWC for putting on this tournament. Thank you to PotmBot for letting me interview them at PAX, and thank you to DC. You can follow me at Bballin773 on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all the usual places. But again, thanks a lot for letting me cast, and hope to do this again in the future.
Yeah, where was your interview with PotmBot? Is that on your YouTube?
It's not on my YouTube. I'm not really too sure where to find it. I haven't really looked for it, but
all right. Google search it, guys. That's how you can find it. All right, if you want to see more from me, go to my website. It's purgegamers.com. You can see all of my my guide. If you have friends that are trying to get into Dota 2, go to the Learn tab, and you can teach them, or at least let them learn by reading some of the guides and other videos I produce. You can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/purgegamers, or Facebook and Twitter when you guys want to see when I'm going live. So if you guys want to stick around for a bit, I'll probably play some pub games. But other than that, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and see you guys later.
They asked me, how do you become a pro gamer? Practice, practice, practice. When my mom sees me in tournaments and things like that, she realized how, it's a big deal. If you're a competitor and you're the top player in these games, you're banking. Everything that you're doing in a game, there's sound to it. The reload of a shotgun at a corner, you're able to hear that at a distance. If someone's reloading around my corner, that guy's gonna die instantly. Everyone plays to win. I mean, let's be real here. Some of these top pro players can't even pass the second round of Pac-Man. Going up to the stage, it's really exciting. That's the thing. It's over the edge. Everyone in the background was just cheering on. with the surround sound. You're so enhanced in the game at this point. If the world was ending behind me, I couldn't tell. Focus is the key when it comes to competition. It gets really intense. Headsets give you that advantage. Command victory.